Wayseeker, and today we're going to make some authentic Mexican chili. This recipe comes down to me from my Lita, who is a native of Mexico, through my father to me. And I gotta tell you, if I was forced to have one thing in my life to eat for the rest of my life, this would be it. And I'm going to show you how it's done. So let's get started. So when you're cutting the unhound chilies, you want to lay them out lengthwise. The easiest way to go about getting them is to go ahead and take your knife and you cut them lengthwise, like so. And then you'll go back over them again with your knife crossways to create very small cubes of the chili that will be mixed in with the rest of the ingredients as you go. So you then turn it and you begin to go at it like this. And this gives you a really nice little small pieces. When you cut the onion, you want to be sure to use a wide-bladed chopping knife. Just gather all the onion together after it's been washed. Drive the blade down through, slicing off nice small pieces of the onion. You've got to be careful not to go too quickly unless you're a professional chef, because I have cut my fingers many more times than I can count with this sharp chopping knife. But it creates a nice pile of onion very, very quickly that you can then throw right into the pot to prepare the chili. When cutting tomatoes, I like to use a bone carving knife. It's about that size. I start out by removing the eye of the tomato, getting rid of that. Then I cut the tomato in half, set the flat pieces down. I will then slice about 1/4 inch up from the bottom of the tomato all the way through. This is going to create 1/4 inch cubes. I then take and once again do about 1/4 inch slices lengthwise, then cross it and do the same thing going this way. This is going to give us really nice 1/4 inch size tomato pieces that we can then throw right into the pot. It is extremely important, by the way, to make sure when you're doing this that you use a very sharp knife, or sharpen your knife if it's become dull, because tomato skins are remarkably tough, and if you don't have a sharp knife you'll end up crushing the tomatoes, which is not ideal for the work that you're doing in creating the chili. For prepping the garlic, you break off several pieces of garlic, and you're going to chop off the ends to begin with. I like to use a very short paring knife for this process because you need to have a lot of fine control over what you're doing. Once you do that, you'll have this tough skin around the garlic, so you can go through just lightly with your knife, crack that skin, which makes it then very easy to peel off of the piece, leaving you with this nice piece of garlic. Okay, so the trick is the garlic, because it's such a strong flavor, has to be cut really finely. So we go through and we slice it lengthwise first, so it has a nice flat surface to lay on the cutting board so we can keep control. Then we'll go through, and what I actually do is I pinch it like this, and then I move the knife down just touch by touch by touch, and I chop as I go across, cutting very thin slices quite safely because I have a nice grounding on the cutting board. And you see I have very thin slices right there, and then I can go through and do a similar thing going the other way. In this case I'm holding the knife against the nails of my fingers, and I scooch back just a tiny bit with each step, and what I'm going to end up with is a very precise cut on the garlic that's going to make it nice and small. And what that does is it really distributes that well throughout the chili, giving it a really nice, rich, garlicky flavor that's spread throughout evenly. Alright, with all of that done, we've added everything into our pot here. We put all of that stuff in there. We then add our spices. I've already added most of it, but you'll add your salt, your pepper, your menudo mix, and your oregano. You then take it and you mix it up. You will not be adding any water to this mix because after simmering for a while, the tomatoes themselves are going to break down and create enough liquid to achieve the chili effect that you're looking for. So you're going to turn your oven up to medium-high-ish range, in between medium and high, and mix everything up a little bit. And then we're just going to let this sit and simmer for about 10 minutes, stirring every once, say every 2 minutes or so. Alright, as you can see in here, once we've got it boiling for a little while, it starts to bubble. You want to turn it down to a fairly low temperature, about just above what the low setting and the simmer setting would be on your stove. Let it simmer right at that level for the 10 minutes. We're getting pretty close here. As you can see, our tomatoes still have a little bit too much of their original shape. We want them all to look a little bit broken down, and that's when you know you've got it just cooked to the right amount. So we're going to let this simmer a little bit longer. We'll be back with you here in just a minute. Alright, as you can see, we're now getting there. What I've got here is tomatoes. The biggest thing you'll notice is that they've darkened in color and they look a little bit mushy. And this is a good sign that we're starting to get the blend that we're looking for in the chili. I should also point out that this process took longer than I originally anticipated. Process actually, when I measured it by time, took closer to 20 minutes. This is actually something I've never timed before, nor measured the ingredients, so it's a little bit of a new ride for me to do this way. Nonetheless, we're now ready to add the cheese, which I'll show you in just a moment. Alright, here at the end of the cooking process, I'm going to add 2 cups of the Longhorn cheddar cheese to the chili. It's 2 cups shredded, and you've got to make certain that what you get is in fact Longhorn cheddar cheese. If you try it with other cheeses, particularly the cheddars, it's going to have a tendency to make a big cheese ball in the middle of your chili, and it's not going to distribute itself properly through the chili. So we put it in there and we mix it all up, and you'll see it starts to melt, and we start to get this nice even mixture of all of our ingredients, and this is starting to look like the Mexican chili my grandma used to make. And there you are, authentic Mexican chili enchiladas. Now that's some good eating. I hope that you found this helpful, and I hope that you enjoy the recipe as much as I do. Good cooking and good writing. See you later.